Here we are on the next day, and it's the first official look at the Mustang as a new Mustang owner. Here we are with the new lineup. Obviously, we got the other Mustang in the back. Lamborghini has seen better days. I'm gonna need to clean all this crap up. Never had a brand new car before, so whole new definition to brand new car smell, because it literally could not get any newer than this. Just unpackaged some goodies, brand new key, I guess never used, which is the second key, some tag that I guess they forgot to take out. And I was told that this is the owner's manual, so I've never seen anything like it. Never had a new car before, obviously. So pretty cool experience that I got the owner's manual in the freaking plastic that it comes with originally. We are about to take an official spin. It will be my grandma's first time in the car, my first time driving it in person, or I mean in the daytime, so should be fun. From the earlier scene, you might be wondering, ℂ𝕝𝕒𝕟𝕕, didn't you test drive the car when it was broad daylight? So I did not. I actually had my dad test drive the car. I have, even though I've purchased several cars over the years, I think since 2020, I've purchased the C63, C55, Lamborghini M5, and now this. So the fifth car, I haven't test driven any of them. So haven't test driven any of them. Or the M5, I guess the M5 is the only one I test drove, but my dad basically forced me to. He test drove it first, and then I took the wheel. At a certain point, literally didn't even go a block with the car, but the rest of them I didn't test drive. The Lamborghini, I didn't even sit in before buying it, because I told myself I'd never sit in the Lambo until it was mine. Mustang also did not sit in the car prior to purchasing it. It was just my dad and the salesman. C63 I sat in but wasn't the one driving at any given point, and then the same thing with the C55. So just a running thing I have going on, that I don't test drive the cars.
Swag, that shit is so sad, put in work at that basement. I charge you double that payment. Lil' boy, I'm not one you can play with. I grew up in Brooklyn.
Because I was gonna ask him if he wanted to go to the stereo base place. That's where we tinted the 63 and then the Mustang when needed 5% or whatever. So I was thinking about going there, and if not, I was gonna take it to where I got the C55 tinted, which was off of Mission as well. Yeah, it's held up. I feel like it had air bubbles for like the first week for some reason, but like all of it went away.
Wherever you go, I want to get my shit retinted too.
Yeah, so
maybe not the whole thing, but maybe like the back at least.
Yeah, I got louvers coming for the rear, but obviously I want to tint out the entire thing outside of the windshield.
Louvers meaning like the same thing that Abu got for his back windshield?
Yeah, so that's coming this week. But like since the car is like new, there's not that many options when it comes to buying stuff.
Yeah, there's so much out there.
So like the side louvers, I mean I'd have to pay about like I think like $250 without tax and shipping. So I'm holding off on that, because usually when there's multiple options you get it like super cheap for like $40-50. Whereas the only place I could find it right now is this like Ford store in like some random city that has like authentic Ford OEM versions, which is probably like, I don't know what car it's off of, but I mean, whatever. So I'm holding off on that, but yeah, I'm trying to get I already ordered like a lot of stuff last night for the car, and then I hit up Downtown Muffler. I think I hit them up on Saturday in anticipation of potentially getting the car, to see how much they would charge to make the car loud, obviously. But they haven't responded yet, or like not that I know of. and then I'm probably gonna call the supercharger people tomorrow, because unfortunately nobody else reached out about, you know, the sponsorship or whatever. Even like the people that said that were interested didn't reach out again.
Well, I feel like they're waiting for you to get back to you, right?
No, well, I followed up. They still didn't respond after that. Because like, I made the proposal and they said they were interested and they asked for info. And I sent that info and then like never heard back.
If the ops come, then we get to bucking. So sad that my youngest stay shook. Get a bag, we don't play by the book. Made a slap, now they don't wanna hug. If you ask, yeah, I do the dash, yeah. Got money bags, yeah. For the ones that they took, I know that I'm good.
One thing I will say about this car is the fact that the screen, or the backup camera I should say, and maybe the screen as well, I'm not really sure, the definition is super high. I haven't experienced anything like it. As you guys know, I did have a camera in the C63 AMG. I also had a camera in the 2018 M5, and yeah, obviously this car is a bit newer than both of them, and you know, technology advances pretty quickly, so I guess I'm not necessarily surprised that the quality is as high as it is. But at the same time I sort of am, because I wasn't necessarily expecting the quality to be this great. It's like literally HD as hell. But yeah, it is, as you guys would have probably realized if you've been watching for some time, this is my very first new car. I never really thought I'd buy a new car, to be completely honest with you guys. I thought, you know, it would be great to one day maybe be able to purchase a brand new Lamborghini. I wouldn't say it's like the biggest dream ever, but it would be really, really awesome if I ever got to the point where I felt like I could reasonably get a brand new Lamborghini. It probably wouldn't be anytime soon. I would have to, you know, prioritize a lot of other things first, and if I, you know, was handling pretty much every aspect of life based on my perspective, and I had plenty of money left over, I would definitely love to either just buy a brand new Lamborghini from the dealer, or maybe even go as far as ordering my own with, you know, all the perks and colorways and everything that I personally want. I probably wouldn't do anything crazy, so it would probably be like the simplest custom ordered Lamborghini ever, but it would be kind of cool to have my own touch on it and maybe make it unique in like some respect. But yeah, so this was sort of unexpected. I randomly was thinking about getting rid of the M5 because of costs and it maybe not being worthwhile having it, especially considering the interest rate that I was paying on it. And you know, initially, as I mentioned, I was going to get this Alpina B6 that was randomly an ad on my Instagram page. That ended up falling through because the dealer said that they would reach out to me but never did. And then later I found out by, you know, looking up the page it was on that I had saved, it was no longer available at all. Then I was sort of having to regroup, figure out what I wanted to do. I found another ad for a 2024 Mustang, and it randomly dawned upon me that maybe this is it. Maybe I should go get a 2024 Mustang, do a supercharger build, have, you know, unique content. Maybe there are a few people that already have done it, that had early access to superchargers and whatnot, but you know, I could still make it unique, and it would be a car that you guys don't normally see or are not necessarily seeing at this time. And you know, I would make my own videos with it and with its own twists and whatnot. So I basically went from this idea to actually purchasing a Mustang in about a week. So the turnaround time was actually pretty quick. It's not the fastest I've purchased the car. I bought the Lamborghini. I found it randomly on a Thursday night. I, started negotiating on Friday, settled on the deal on Saturday, and went to LA. Pretty much drove over 350 miles or something to get there and bought it. M5. I believe I saw it on a Friday night, bought it on a Saturday afternoon. Mercedes, I found it on a weekday. I don't remember what day it was, and then I bought it on Saturday as well and closed the deal pretty short there after finding the listing and negotiating on it. So I do have a tendency to purchase cars fairly quickly. This might actually be the one car that had extra thought going to it, maybe, I'm not sure, but interesting situation for sure, and I'm definitely enjoying it. As I said, I feel like muscle cars are my thing. I love the Lamborghini because it's sort of loud and obnoxious to a certain degree. I didn't have that feeling with the M5 at all. It was just smooth and fast, and it wasn't really loud like that. And it didn't have that aggressive feel that I actually enjoy in the 04 Mustang and the Lamborghini. The C63, I felt like it was more aggressive than the M5 was. And I think this car, even though it has less power and it is slower than the C63, it has less power than the M5, slower than the M5, and then has more power than the C63, but it's less fast, or not as fast. It definitely feels better. It's sort of my wheelhouse, I feel like, when it comes to what I look for in driving a car. Not super picky about the driving experience overall, but if I guess if I had a preference, I would want something more aggressive. And yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at with this car. I'm enjoying it. I haven't really driven it that much. I've only had it for a couple of days at this point, so not the longest, but the little experience I have had with it has been pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to where this takes us. I haven't done any mods to it. I did order a bunch of stuff. Some stuff already came, but I haven't looked at it. I think I got the either the carbon film. I got glossy carbon film that I could use on the Lambo as well, but I got it for this car, and the gas tank, which I'll probably use for the gas tank on the Lamborghini too, because I had wrapped it in carbon film before, but it was like this flat color, and I know people have sort of upgraded their quality when it comes to carbon film, and now it looks glossy and more realistic than before. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. I did get tint film for the car. I did get tire valve caps, which is not the biggest change, but a minor one. I have looked at wheel setups. I think I'm going to put BBS wheels in the front, and in the rear I'm going to get super thick tires and probably a set of random wheels off of American Muscle. Not trying to be super flashy, but I would love to have BBS wheels because I've been enticed by them for a long time, but I never bought it for any car. And I think it would be kind of unique to have BBS wheels on a Mustang. And then obviously in the back we're going to have I guess it would be like drag tires to put all the power down once it's supercharged. I already purchased the supercharger, but had a dispute unfortunately with the company, so we'll see how all of that plays out. But hopefully there are no obstacles in the way of obtaining the supercharger, which I already purchased, and installing it, which I already worked out. So based on what I've been told, the supercharger would arrive or be shipped out somewhere in the middle to late January. So you guys will be seeing it pretty soon if things go well, and the supplier isn't creating additional issues for me. And yeah, so you guys will might be seeing it in the next vlog or so, but in reality, based on the actual timeline, I wouldn't receive it for a month. give or take, maybe less than a month, maybe a little over a month. But in terms of the vlogs, you guys will pretty much be seeing it very soon, I would imagine. I got rear louvers. There are no side louvers I could find. I think I only found it on this Ford website. This Ford, I guess, supply or part store somewhere in a different state has OEM side louvers for the Mustang GT. Not even sure what car it comes on for them to have access to it, because I don't think any of the cars come with side louvers stock. I don't believe there is a Shelby or any specialty Mustangs out right now. It's literally just the GT and the regular coupe, so, and the convertibles obviously. So not sure where those louvers come off of, but they are supposedly OEM and they are from this Ford store. The only thing is they'd run me about like $250 without tax and shipping. So obviously you could get side louvers for a lot cheaper, so I'm not necessarily that interested in paying that much right now. So I'll pretty much be waiting on the side louvers. I think the rear louvers should arrive in the next few days, and you guys will probably be seeing that in this vlog actually. So yeah, we got that. I'm planning out the exhaust, which may get done on a day next week. Got a bunch of other things as well. I think I got hash marks for the fender, and there's probably other things that I got that I don't really remember, but we are going to put the C63 license plate that used to say, or that does say Supercar Killer on this car, because obviously by the end of this it will be a supercar by the end, so we will be putting that plate on the back to pay homage to the C63. And yeah, plenty other things in mind, but we'll just go through it, like window tints and all that. We'll pretty much be just going through the motions and getting all that done.
2 hours later.
We are finally back. Hopefully I don't scrape over here. As you guys know, that's my main paranoia with the Lamborghini, and that's the reason I don't bring it to the post office ever. Okay, looks like we did good. Overall reaction to the Mustang, I think I'm having a good time. It's definitely not the fastest car I've driven. It's, I mean, what can you really say when you're comparing it to a C63 or M5 or a Lamborghini? So it's definitely not the fastest car I've driven. I think, it'll definitely get there once we're supercharged. I mean, we'll definitely be at a point where it probably will be the fastest car I've driven, and it'll be the fastest car I've ever owned. So it'll definitely get there. It's just not there yet. A lot of people might be thinking that I'm crazy for, a lot of my channel growth happened after I got the Lamborghini, and it continued to grow once I got the M5. So a lot of people haven't really seen the C63. It was, when I owned the C63, it wasn't really a primary focus of the channel since I did everyday vlogs, but it was shown here and there, and a lot of people probably don't know about it. So, obviously gave up the C63, and then gave up the I gave up the C55 at a certain point, which wasn't, the mainstay of the channel, and then I gave up the M5 recently. And a lot of people probably think that I'm crazy for giving up an M5 for a 2024 Mustang, or just getting a 2024 Mustang in general. But I don't think it was that ridiculous. Obviously, I did it strategically. I'm putting a lot of money into this, more than I would have ever spent on any other car. So I really believe in this idea, and I'm just hoping that it works out well, because I did put a decent amount of my savings into this car, into the supercharger, and into the build. So, we've spent quite a bit of money in the past week just securing the car and getting pretty much all of the parts. The main things left, I think, is the side louvers, the exhaust, the tint, and the new wheels and tires, but I pretty much got everything else that I wanted for the car. We might eventually get a carbon hood, I'm not really sure, but a lot of money is going into this build. A lot of my savings is going into this build, and I'm doing it all for you guys and the content. The goal for the car, at least as of right now, is obviously to do this entire build, supercharge it, get it to 855 horses, and from there we're pretty much going to do stuff that we've never done on the channel, like track the car. We have gone to like one car meet that ended up being a fail with the Lamborghini, so we're going to start taking this car to car meets. Probably take the Lamborghini as well, since nobody really owns Lamborghinis locally, so I think that would be cool for local car meets to have the Lamborghini present. You know, take out this supercharged Mustang, get exposure and whatnot, have fun with it. But we are going to also do everyday tasks, you know, like work errands like we did today. We are going to, you know, go get groceries in it. We're going to do food runs. We're going to get, you know, boba and milkshakes and drinks and stuff of that nature in it. So we're going to enjoy the car to every respect that we can. I think it will be interesting content, trying to, you know, basically take a car for the track everywhere else. And this is my daily driver, so whatever I do to it, I need to still daily drive it. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting, and we're going to shoot a lot of stuff with this and pretty much bounce back and forth between this and the 07 Lamborghini. And the goal obviously is to twin turbo the 04 Mustang that I have, and we'll be doing that you know, maybe sooner than later. I did have the milestone set for 25,000 subs, and for the Lamborghini's twin turbo I had it set for 100,000. But since the channel is still ever growing, I decided, you know, why not move things up. So we are going to basically twin turbo the Mustang at 20,000 subs now instead of 25,000. We are going to twin turbo the Lamborghini. Probably, I think it's probably going to be Gintani or Sheepy Race, something of that realm. I'm not 100% sure, but we are going to be doing a twin turbo on that at 50,000. So we're basically cutting it in half. Instead of at 100,000, once we reach 50,000, I'll be doing that. The Lamborghini exhaust, I was waiting for any of our videos to reach 500 likes, but it's been tough getting 500 likes on any video. I think we've gotten over like 400 before, or around 400 several times, but not quite at 500. So I thought, you know, we're going to decrease that as well. So instead of 500 likes, we're actually going to be upgrading the exhaust on the Lamborghini at 5,000 subs. And as we're sitting, you know, by the time you guys actually watch this video, we might actually already have 5,000 subs. Right now, I think we're sitting at 4,300. And, you know, at the rate we're growing, I think in a month we're going to be pretty close to 5,000 if we haven't already surpassed it. So I'm trying to, you know, decrease all of this for the benefit of the subs, benefit of the content, benefit of the entertainment, and show my appreciation. And, you know, we could make more fun with these cars, and, you know, people could enjoy them just as much as I do, whether it's over the internet or, you know, people I meet in person or whatnot. And we could all sort of enjoy the car collection and what we're building here. One of the interesting things about this Mustang, as you guys know, in previous videos when I discussed the 04 Mustang and, you know, the dark horse and stuff, I did discuss that I wanted a modern Mustang, but I didn't anticipate getting one this soon unless it was a dark horse. But it looked like people weren't as interested in the idea, so that's why I went with this rather than dark horse. And, you know, the build is going to obviously be a lot crazier on this than it would have been on the dark horse. And yeah, and, you know, the root of all this is the fact that I sort of grew up on Mustangs, not completely. You know, I think the first Mustang we got, I was probably in like 6th grade or so. I would have to line the years to be absolutely certain, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think I was around like in the 6th grade. And we got this 06 Mustang, and then later on my parents ended up getting my sister this '01 Mustang that we had, and then eventually she ended up getting the BMW she currently owns, and my parents got rid of the '01 Mustang. And then eventually I ended up with an '04 Mustang years later, which I still have, as you guys would know, which I enjoy even though the car is very slow. So this is supposed to be sort of, you know, I wouldn't say a remake of that car in my mind, but something of that nature where, you know, I have the older version of the Mustang. Even when I got it, it was fairly old already, because I got it, I think, when I was like 20. I was about to turn 21 when I got it. I'm 27 now, about to turn 28. So the car was old. I mean, they had multiple gens after that, and now I have the newest Mustang literally off the lot, and that's pretty cool. And you know, I think that's where my love of Mustangs comes from. The only thing I don't like about Mustangs is that they are like super common. That's what I sort of liked about the C63, because there's only so many of them, and it was very hard to find, which is the downside of having a car that is sort of limited. It's very hard to locate one, and you would imagine that it wouldn't be this hard in a state like California to find cars like a C63, but fortunately it is. So had the same thing, and then, you know, a lot of the cars I try to get end up being rare, and I just landed upon the M5 unintentionally because I was trying to get an M3, but I couldn't even find that, so I ended up with the M5. And you know, when you're looking at certain mileage and prices and stuff, it gets pretty hard to like locate certain cars, and that's pretty much what it's been like. So this is sort of more common, but I haven't seen a single 2024 Mustang in general in person on the road. Definitely not a GT either. So I think we made a good decision, even if it's not the rarest car, or it won't be the rarest car in a couple of months.